Hello everyone, I'm Brian Croy Dragon and welcome back to Vox Adventures. So updated my windows yesterday, twice. Because oh geez, there's gotta be a better way for them to tell you to update your windows besides, oh, you know, that, all of those complications. Things like your internet browser just plain not responding, most of the things not responding, your computer freezing temporarily for a few moments, if not permanently, resulting in you having to turn off your computer. Or your computer screen just going black and turning off. There's gotta be a better way to tell you. Oh, Carnival. Excellent. So yeah, here we are in this setup again. So yesterday, as part of my Halloween movie marathon, I watched Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein and Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. Yes, only got 2 films in. But that's okay. It's not about watching as many as possible, it's just about watching them. Jeez. Yes, Alex. You know, when someone goes through a dungeon and doesn't bother to take down the enemies, it's a real pain. It's an annoyance for those trying to catch up. Yes, Alex. Alex. What the hell is a Sungjan? You know, I gotta figure out how to understand the task manager one of these days. Yes, Alex. Worth a shot. And of course, nothing. You know, I thought I figured out the not responding nonsense when I updated Java. Where is his health bar? How did he hit me? And seriously, where is his health bar? Oh, that's cheap. Coming from behind. Yesterday I thought it was like a PC cleaning thing that needed to be done, so I have two PC cleaners that don't really need to be there. What happened? Did he despawn or something? Well, no, he's definitely somewhere here. There he is. You know what? Let's go mining instead. It's been a while, so how about some nice relaxing mining? Well, it may be in use, but still, it's a pickaxe. I have my armor on. Maybe I've got enough iron as it is. At home, that still needs to be smelted. Jeez, I really did mine a long time, didn't I? Well, multiple times. Oh, jeez. Okay, where's this take me back to? Oh, back in the lava. Exactly. Not in the spot before the lava, right in the lava. Let's go this way. You know what? It's in the way. I'm in the mine, so mine it. Let's just keep going forward. Yeah. Just keep moving forward. Okay, so we're outside of Greenleaf. That's the extent of my knowledge. Well, so where did I end up? Excuse me one moment. So we're back, and I'm pretty sure I made a terrible mistake. I thought there was only one boss left, that it was in progress, and I thought, hey, let's see the sights. And then I remembered this. Actually, this isn't a particularly hard part. So, gonna need a redo on that. No. Yeah. Actually, it is, because still can't make it, so let's go to the wilderness. Oh, for the love of God. Everywhere is just intended to kill me today, isn't it? Okay, how the hell does the disc get 8? Okay, now it goes 5, 6. Okay, let's see here. Discord, Firefox, Minecraft. Let's close the launcher because... Okay, how to go from 51, 63, 79, 69, 65. What the hell? How do you make sense of that? I don't know. The task manager is a mystery to me. Smurled. Sake. Ugh, I need Mr. Fantastic powers if I'm going to be able to reach the Kleenex. Ugh. Mr. Fantastic, Plastic Man, Rubber Band Man, anyone with those sets of powers. Yeah, chicken, you better run! I'm not gonna get any blood from that anyway. Or will I? Yeah, I bet. So, fans of the DC animated universe, which began with Batman the Animated Series, may be interested to know that Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy has an early role of Michael Ansara, who, of course, was the voice of Mr. Freeze. He plays a character named Charlie, and that's what I'm going to say about that. And while Mr. Freeze is kind of a Shakespearean character, and obviously Michael Ansara did do Shakespeare once he was Pandarus in the 1953 film adaptation of Julius Caesar. There's not really anything that could be called a reference to Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. But on the other hand, Michael Ansara had a long career, and Mr. Freeze only had, I don't know, I think like 5 appearances in the DC animated universe as a whole. Now, I'm just counting the television shows and movies, obviously. Let's not bring things like video games into this. The canonicity of those are debatable. So, originally Mr. Freeze in the comics was called Mr. Zero, I think. And amusingly, his comic book story ended with him being cured of his condition by, I think, coming into contact with steam. So he was basically a one-shot villain. I don't know if he had any more appearances as Mr. Zero. When the 1960s Batman series came around, obviously they changed his name to Mr. Freeze, and he became more popular. I don't know if they gave him a name in the original comics before the coming of Batman the Animated Series. So the first case of him being given a real name that I know of would be the 1960s series where he's Art Chevelle or something like that. Chevelle, I'm not sure on the pronunciation. Rather, I can't remember. It's one of those two. I mean, I do have the first season on DVD. So really the character of Mr. Freeze it's pretty much been made through. He's pretty much been remade through portrayals on screen. From things like name to personality. Or should I say names, personality, background, and all that. Yeah, due to only having the first season on DVD, I've only seen George Sanders' portrayal of Mr. Freeze. I haven't seen Eli Wallach and Otto Preminger. I'm pretty sure were the others. Now obviously I've seen other portrayals besides that. I've seen the portrayal from the DC animated universe. I've seen the portrayal in the series The Batman, where he was voiced by Clancy Brown. And a bit more in line with how he was originally portrayed. Simply as a thief. A jewel thief. A super powered jewel thief, but a jewel thief nonetheless. And it's perhaps the fact that he doesn't have a sympathetic background that makes him a bit more terrifying as a villain. Perhaps even more terrifying is that Nora Freeze actually does exist in that universe. But that she's probably, we don't know what happened to her. She's either dead or in prison, because it's implied that she was a part of her husband's criminal activities. And yeah, that version of Mr. Freeze truly is superpowered. He doesn't need a gun. The suit is more a containment thing than anything else to contain his powers. So just not is he more intimidating, he's also more powerful than the typical Mr. Freeze. We saw a bit of him in Batman the Brave and the Bold, both as Mr. Zero via cameo in one of the Batmite episodes, and to my knowledge only once as Mr. Freeze in the episode Chill of the Night. Excellent episode. which is the only adaptation of Batman's confrontation with Joe Chill, the killer of his parents. And rather than being a crime boss, Joe Chill has gone up to being an arms dealer who sells to superpowered criminals in Gotham. I mean, if superpowered criminals are a thing, you've got to stay relevant somehow. I think it was just a cameo there also. And of course I gotta mention Two-Face in that series. He was very much a faithful reproduction of how Bob Kane originally drew him. Not sure if he was the colorer also, but pretty sure. I haven't heard anything about him not being the colorer. I know of the original creative team, he was the original artist, so he was probably the original colorer also. So yeah, we basically get a faithful reproduction of his recreation of how Bob Kane originally drew and colored him. And I think that's also the case in Batman vs. Two-Face, which I haven't seen, where Two-Face is voiced by William Shatner. I mean, I'm a 90s kid, loved Batman the animated series, but I haven't found any information on Two-Face ever being drawn like that, so if you know, please tell me. I mean, obviously, because he's voiced by William Shatner, he's designed to look like how William Shatner looked in the 1960s. Because it's in continuity with the 1966 Adam West Batman series. But otherwise, it's really a faithful recreation of how Two-Face looked as Bob Kane drew and colored him. Yeah, so this is episode 8. Messages. Blasted spam. Damn spam for poetry's sake. A boat. It's mine now. Wait. Yeah, it was probably just sitting there. I don't want to say anything. But because it might jinx it, but OBS has been quite good since I updated. Well, that was last night, and I've just started using it again today. I mean, obviously. Personally, I've not read too much of Two-Face's appearances. Oh, look, I can tell from this angle. The Batman 66 comics, of course. The Dark Knight Returns, Batman and Tarzan, Claws of the Catwoman, Batman Gotham by Gaslight. Yeah, unless I'm missing one, that's pretty much it. And with like Gotham by Gaslight, he's actually a two-faced individual who betrays Bruce at a trial. And Batman and Tarzan, Claws of the Catwoman, he's a villain full time, which actually works well because, let's face it, someone becoming a villain just because of a deformity has not aged well. Mm. Yes, Alex? Yes. The Dark Knight Returns, of course, happens with, because, they use plastic surgery is used to repair his face, but at the unforeseen consequence of meaning it's the Two-Face Half-Black is in complete control this time. In Batman 66, it's just an adaptation of the unused script written by Warren Ellis. Hello, Alex. Yes. Hi. Yes, rub your head against the computer. Gotta take some cold medication or whatever is causing this. Yeah, so yeah, anything I've read involving Two-Face is not connected to the mainstream continuity. As for Mr. Freeze, I don't recall reading anything about him involving the mainstream continuity either. I mean, honestly, that's fine. The mainstream continuity is constricting a lot of the times. Constricting? No, restricting is the word. Character dies, you gotta bring them back sooner or later. There's only so many characters who can stay dead. I mean, obviously I've got some paperbacks and mainstream continuity, Aquaman obviously. And while obviously you're not gonna see some characters, you're not gonna see a lot of characters die in the Batman 66 comics, and occasionally that's what happens. Not often, but occasionally. Yeah, I think I'll be under here instead. Personally, I prefer works outside of the mainstream continuity a lot more most of the time. What? And honestly, a lot of the stories that are not a part of the mainstream continuity are quite good. Obviously I mentioned Batman and Tarzan, but Superman and Tarzan is good too. Where through a twist of fate, Superman's pod lands in Africa. He gets adopted by the Mongoni. Kala specifically. And its crashing to Earth prevents the marooning of John and Alice Clayton, Lord and Lady Greystoke, and so the man we should know as Tarzan is born into civilization and is left feeling kind of empty. Like a piece of him is missing. And Kal-El is also not exactly feeling as he should, like he doesn't quite belong. Like he's meant to be somewhere else. Obviously referencing Metropolis, but where he does eventually end up at the end when... Well, that's just spoiling. If you want to read it, read it. Batman and Tarzan, on the other hand, it's more of a straightforward team up with Batman and Tarzan going after Finnegan Dent, who wants to loot a lost city. And that city is where the portrayal of Catwoman comes from. It's kind of a shame that that story wasn't adapted for Batman the Brave and the Bold. They could even have just called it instead of the typical intro, they could have just had a little introduction explaining that it's out of continuity and what Elseworlds are. Keep Diedrich Bader as Batman, of course. Keep whoever it was as the voice of Two-Face. He actually had two voice actors. Richard Moll actually reprised this one for Chill of the Night, since he was already voicing Lou Moxon in that episode, so it made sense. James Garrett, of course, keep him as Alfred. Yeah, sure, it's a different character as Catwoman. Catwoman's not Selena Kyle, but probably keep her voice actor also. Not really sure who would have voiced Tarzan though. And obviously with a 22-minute runtime you can perfectly adapt something that was a 4-issue miniseries, I think. 3 issues, 4 issues. I've got the paperback right there, so I'll check after the recording. Another good Elseworld, like Superman and Tarzan and Batman and Tarzan, would have to be Superman Red Sun, which of course got a animated adaptation recently. And it tells of what would have happened if Superman had been the Soviet Union instead. Batman Gotham by Gaslight is another example where, well, he goes after Jack the Ripper. In 1889 Gotham. That too got an animated film based off of it. Heck. Oh, okay. DC The New Frontier is also a story that's not part of the mainstream continuity. It got its own adaptation before Gotham by Gaslight or Superman Red Sun as Justice League The New Frontier. It's a wonderful film, and I remember comments saying it was bad because it had nothing to do with the Justice League TV show, because yes, of course, it's not like the name Justice League was brought over from the comics or anything. Obviously, because it's animated and it's got the title Justice League, it's got to have something to do with with the Justice League TV show. Yeah, what stupidity. Off we go across the sea. You know, I'd probably like to see the Doom that came to Gotham adapted into an animated film. Gotham Noir would be good too. I quite like period pieces. The one where it's Superman during the American Civil War, I'm not sure about. Because, spoiler alert, it ends with him becoming the Lone Ranger. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Being adapted. I know there's a Batman one where he's around during the time of the American Civil War, and instead of obviously instead of the Batmobile, he has a horse, and he's got just the edgiest, gothiest name for this horse, and it's called Apocalypse. My good lord. I'm telling you, I really don't know what some writers are thinking. As one myself, I really don't know. Superman becoming the Lone Ranger, Batman's horse being named Apocalypse. Sure. Oh, come on. Come on, come on. Sorry, Skelly, but had no time to make it long and dramatic. Gotta be in the water, away from the terrible, terrible sun. Okay, here's an idea. Let's take a look at the various titles and their premises. Okay, Elseworlds, let's see what you did. List of Elseworlds publications. Batman Elseworlds. Batman Thrill Killer. One 3-part miniseries and one one-shot collected into one volume. Batgirl and Robin Thrill Killer. Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, and Dick Grayson Robin as part of the 1960s counterculture. Yeah, I've read a bit of it. The Joker, for instance, is actually a woman. Good lord, what should I click on? Two-Face is apparently divided into two characters. Detective Durrell and, well, of course, Harvey Dent, with the villain role going to Durrell. The story begins in 1961, a time of transition between the 1950s and the dawn of the sexual revolution in the Vietnam War. Nobody could anticipate the darkness that lay ahead, especially between the two masked defenders Batgirl and Robin. For them, the joyride was about to end, and the last stop was death. This section needs an improved plot summary, I agree. And of course, in the sequel, Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. What's your next one? Batman and Captain America. I've actually read it. It's quite good. It's got that famous scene where Joker turns on Red Skull after teaming up with him, but ironically, while many people point it to a proof of Joker standards, it's really not in continuity, and there's another story, Dark Allegiances, where the Joker is the part of a KKK type group with a swastika on the forehead, so obviously not all Jokers are like that. It's your Batman and Demon, a tragedy Bruce Wayne is possessed by Etrigan the Demon. Okay, not bad. Tales of the Multiverse, Batman, Vampire. Of course, I've read Batman and Dracula, Red Rain, quite good. Batman, Bloodstorm. Batman fights an army of vampires led by the Joker in Gotham City while battling a hunger for blood that dooms him in the end. Batman, Crimson Mist. A now fully vampiric and evil Batman is revived by a tormented Alfred and goes on a killing spree of all of his former enemies. Sounds like something. Batman and Houdini, the Devil's Workshop. Batman teams up with Harry Houdini to fight child-stealing vampires in 1907. Hell yeah, give us that as an animated film. Batman and Lobo. In a severely twisted version of Gotham, the Joker hires the infamous main man Lobo to take out the Dark Knight. After Lobo kills everyone close to Batman, the Joker is forced to call him off after the revelation that the Joker is Batman's long-lost friend Joey Wayne. I don't know about that one. Batman, the Blue, the Grey, and the Bat. Oh, of course, that's the one I mentioned. Batman and Robin in the American Civil War. Batman, the Book of the Dead. The Waynes are a rich archaeologist family, and the story revolves around a lesser-known but important Egyptian bat god. Interesting premise. Has, wait, sounds like it has promise. Batman, Brotherhood of the Bat. 50 years in the future, Batman is dead and the planet is within the grip of a plague set off by Ra's al Ghul, who uses Bruce Wayne's various rejected costume designs to create a league of costumed assassins. It is confronted by Talent, the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul. Sure. Sequel, Batman, League of Batmen. Talent's efforts to cure the plague with his own costumed bat force are hampered by a still alive but much more demonic Ra's al Ghul. Prequel, Batman, Night Gallery, collection of art on which the two stories were based. Batman Castle of the Bats. Based on the story of Frankenstein, young Dr. Bruce Wayne attempts to resurrect his father into an avenging Batman to discover who killed his parents. Yeah, that's not bad. The Batman Chronicles. A quarterly Batman title covering single and not necessarily within continuity stories. Two all Elseworlds issues were published. Okay, what were they? From issue 11, the stories featured are The Berlin Batman, The Bride of Leatherring, and Curse of the Catwoman. From issue 21 are the stories Apocalypse Girl, Mystery of Citizen Rain, and Silent Tale of the Bat. Berlin Batman. Oh, it's set in 1938. Germany, of course, so... And Batman's Jewish, so that's interesting. It has a promise. Batman and Tarzan, Claws of the Catwoman, I already mentioned. Batman Dark Allegiances. Batman, Catwoman, and Alfred Pennyworth as OSS agents during World War II. That's actually what happens at the end of the story. The rest of it is figuring out and stopping the plot of the Two-Face, Penguin, and Joker equivalents and their KKK swastika-wearing henchmen, the Right Legion. Batman and Dark Joker LeWire, a fantasy tale of the evil wizard known as Dark Joker and his battles against the avenging Batman. Quite good, I quite enjoyed it. Batman Dark Knight Dynasty, a centuries-old feud between the Wayne family and the immortal Vandal Savage, begins with Bruce Wayne's ancestor, Sir Joshua of Wainwright, at the time of the Knights Templar, and ends with his descendant, Vice President Brenda Wayne, in the Gotham of the 25th century. So, sounds interesting. Batman, Dark Knight of the Round Table. Batman as a knight in King Arthur's court, as promised. Batman Detective number 27, I've actually got it. Excellent read. In 1938, Batman becomes a secret crime fighter without donning a costume. Doom Comes to Gotham, I've of course talked about. Very good. Batman, The Golden Streets of Gotham. Turn of the century, Gotham is full of greedy industrialists who gain profit by degrading and tormenting their workers. Bruno Vaneco is a railroad worker whose parents were factory workers killed in a fire akin to the infamous Triangle and Shirt Waist factory fire. Desperate for justice, he dons a bat costume and joins a citywide worker strike. Sounds interesting. So, as we found out, there's a lot of interesting premises and some whatever ones. Yeah, the Joker being Batman's long-lost twin brother, I wonder if that's where the writer for Joker got the idea for the red herring that the Joker's actually Bruce Wayne's illegitimate half-brother. I mean, maybe. Who knows? Oh, jeez. So yeah, I've seen the film Joker, quite good. But yeah, some premises are more interesting than others. If you want to read them, go look for them. That Superman in the American Civil War run, be my guest. Superman becoming the Lone Ranger, I still don't know what to make of it. I'm not too familiar with the Lone Ranger. Unlike Zorro, I've never seen anything Lone Ranger related. Yes, I'm aware of the Johnny Depp film, but still I've not seen it. Oh, come on. Yeah, so yeah, I'm more familiar with Zorro. I've got an audiobook, I've got a DVD of one of the animated series. an animated film also. Come on. Come on. No, what's with this not responding nonsense? And again with the not responding. You know, when I updated Java, I thought I figured it out. I really thought I had figured it out. Okay, let's take a look at these other things. Gotham Noir, a film noir homage set in the late 1940s, features James Gordon as a main character. Reddit loved it. Batman, Haunted Gotham. Gotham has been taken over by the Dark Lords of Hell and escape is impossible. After watching his parents being killed by a werewolf, a grown-up Bruce Wayne becomes the Batman as per his father's instructions from beyond the grave, and sets out to free Gotham with the help of a living skeleton named Cal and a shape-shifting Romani seer named Cat Magic. Okay. Saying that's a maybe. Oh god. Batman, Hollywood Night. A severe head trauma causes an actor who plays Batman in film serials to believe he actually is the Dark Knight. Interesting. Batman Holy Terror, the first story to carry the... Okay, just skip that part. The Reverend Bruce Wayne becomes Batman to fight corruption in a theocratic future world. Batman I Joker. I'm not sure about Holy Terror. A futuristic Gotham City is led by a cult that follows Batman's descendant, a self-proclaimed god known only as the Bruce. The current Joker must find a way to survive long enough to face his nemesis and free Gotham from his influence. Okay then. Batman in Darkest Night. Bruce Wayne becomes the Green Lantern of Earth. It's not bad. Batman, Man-Bat. Not really a plot stated. Batman Mask, set at the Gotham Opera House in the 1890s. Inspired by the Phantom of the Opera with Batman and Two-Face sharing the Phantom role. Interesting, has promise. Batman Nevermore. Batman teams with then newspaper reporter Edgar Allan Poe to solve a series of Raven-themed murders. Oh yeah, give us that. As an animated film. Batman 9 Lives, there's an article. Plot summary. Okay, that's more than needed, so it's a detective story with things being more mundane, with a similar approach to the Christopher Nolan films. Yeah, I'd say some of these premises are very much varied. Let's turn this off. Task Manager, 92% memory, 90%, 92%, okay, 100%. Back down to 99, down to 91, 89, 88. Good lord, how does this even work? 58. Good lord, like I even know. So let's see, our Batman teaming up with Houdini, Batman teaming up with Edgar Allan Poe, Batman teaming up with Tarzan. Who hasn't he teamed up with? I mean, obviously Sherlock Holmes has been done. Wonder if Hercule Poirot or Nero Wolfe is a viable option. Oh, or Dick Tracy. Imaginations are strange and wonderful things. Truly they are. Yeah, of course, not responding. Definitely gonna think about working on the video settings on OBS. Maybe that will help the encoding overload from. Maybe that will help prevent encoding overload. Where's my settings even at? What are my settings even at? Oh, I don't know. Well, I'd say that's all for today. I'm Brian Croydragon signing out. Stay Shrey.